to welcome you back to Ace of Spades Tarot. We're still in the energy of bringing in the astrological new year, so that is my reasoning for starting this channel when I did. And Pisces, your read is the final read of the first 12 zodiac signs. So I will be doing a Romney spread. I've previously shuffled all of the cards, but I'd like to shuffle a bit more on camera. Feel free to fast forward through this part. Please also note that, here, got in there, sorry. Please also note that this is a general reading, not a personal reading. So, take what resonates with your situation and leave behind what doesn't. And, if this reading doesn't resonate, please feel free to check your other sign placements. Really, it's relevant wherever Pisces is prominent in your natal chart, your own personal natal chart. And I'm still just getting used to this. I won't be doing the Romney spread for every reading because they're too long, so initially these readings are a bit longer. However, it gives me a good gauge of kind of where the collective energy of Pisces is, at this current time, kind of, and a little bit into past, present, future energies as well. As time is fluid, my hope is that this reading finds you when it is meant to. It's more of a timeless reading. The energy is good for, I would say, a good couple of months. My thought is that I'll do a spread like this, maybe, if not twice a year, 4 times a year at the most. And in the meantime, I'll do some more, that's interesting. Wow. We already have a pair on the board here. I'll be doing more fun readings in between that are shorter and more to the point. More check-in energy readings. So, if you do like this, please, I ask you to subscribe to the channel. It's totally free. And please hit the like button if you like what you see or what I say. Hit that notification bell, which I'm still not really sure what it does. I guess it notifies you if there's going to be a reading coming out. Wow. Okay, I can already see this is going to be interesting. And also share the video with friends if you feel like it'll resonate with one of them. Next up, I'll be doing full moon readings, and they'll be shorter, hopefully. Still working on that, but they'll be more free flow and not in spread format. This is just a good basic overview of kind of everything that's going on with the Pisces collective at the moment. And figuring that we have, figuring we've just gone through the Aries full moon and the Neptune and Jupiter in conjunction in Pisces. It's a pretty intense time, both spiritually and also probably emotionally for many of you, especially water signs. Again, this is general for Pisces. Please. Thank you. 4 more cards, guys. Almost there. Are these the 4 ones? Okay. No. This is bottom of the deck here. Bottom of the deck here. Thank you, Spirit. All right. Let's get started. So, in our recent past, we have, starting off with the 8 of Swords, and I believe a couple of other signs actually got this as their first card as well, which is interesting. I think, I mean, it makes sense. A lot of people have felt like, you know, in this period of the last couple of years, this feeling of kind of not being able to do what they want to do. They feel restrained, but, you know, Swords being mental energy, it's all kind of the prison in your own head, right? And this woman is blindfolded and tied up, but her path is clear. She could walk forward, but she's choosing to remain stuck in this own mental prison. And in tarot, as I always say, we're always trying to get to the 10, right? So you know, 10s being the endings. So when we have an 8 of Swords, it means that there is somewhere a 2 of Swords in the mix. Even if it's not on the board, it's in the mix where there's a choice having to be made, and a choice that's totally mind over heart, because, you know, in 2 of Swords, she's blocking off her heart chakra and choosing to also remain blindfolded and cross those swords, which she could easily put down, you know, over her heart. So perhaps there was a choice that was being made, and in doing so, you distracted yourself just by working, you know, hard at whatever it is that you were working towards or are working towards. You know, we have 2 8s right in a row, and 8 also being the number of the Strength card of the Major Arcana. You know, it's certainly a you know, it's also, you know, the infinity symbol in many ways. So maybe this work in the past has had you trapped in your mind, or you keep working to forget what you're trapped in your mind about. There's something there. Let's see what else we have here. We have the Star coming up next, you know, Aquarian energy. And of course, Aquarius is right, you know, the sign right before Pisces. Star is also really representative of healing. You know, she's it's kind of it's a beautiful energy to have. It's kind of, you've removed yourself from whatever this is, right? This is the toil of the mental labor, the toil of the physical labor. As she's naked here, pouring water into the well, she's also pouring water into the earth, which create 5 streams, meaning the balancing of the 5 chakras, of the 5 senses. I'm sorry, and then she has, you know, this one large star above her, which is kind of the eternal spirit, the eternal soul, and these 7 stars surrounding, which are representative of the chakras, the 7 chakras. So it's really a card of alignment, of healing, and also of it's really about, you know, body, soul, mind coming together. She's stripped the robes of the high priestess off of her, and, you know, the kind of spiritual robes, if you will, off of her, and is naked, and she's stripped the material robes that the Empress wears off of her, and she's kind of this kind of incarnate spirit, if you will, really representative of kind of your higher intuition and your higher self. And then it's funny when that happens. After that, you have this King and Queen of Pentacles right next to each other. So, you know, this, as always, this can be for your energy, for someone that you're close to. Take things as they will, but it is a you know, a soulmate pairing here in the past. And, you know, this is typically a very stable couple, the King of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles. But in the energy that I'm reading right now, it's interesting. You know, this is Aries and Taurus energy, and this is Capricorn and an Aquarius energy, and it's just interesting because if you notice, they're both staring at their pentacles, right? And they're both abundant. She's abundant in her garden. He's abundant on his throne. You know, grapes surrounding him, castle in the background. She's got flowers blooming all around her. And they're very stable, right? The stability is foremost, but you don't see, there's a seriousness about this, right? So perhaps there's been a serious commitment in the past, or perhaps 2 people have found themselves concentrating more on their own, you know, worldly interests rather than each other. Although they are facing each other, which is a good thing. It's not like their backs are turned. It's not like one came out, you know, the Queen of Pentacles isn't facing this way and the King is facing that way. We both have masculine and feminine energy, so, you know, outside of really even the Emperor and the Empress, I would say, you know, it's, even though, you know, they're divine masculine and divine feminine energies, we embody both. So gender is not specific in tarot. But we do have this Knight of Cups, and it's eerily mimicking the Death card that comes after it, right? Knight of Cups is a cup of solid offer of love, of emotions, of, you know, cups are emotions, cups are our feelings. It's water energy. You know, this is, Knight of Cups is Scorpio and Sagittarius energy. So you have this Knight of Cups, and then you have this very Scorpionic energy of death afterwards, right? And it's literally, the horse is in the same almost white horse is in the same stance. I mean, really, it's I've never noticed this before, because I don't know if I've ever, but I mean, they almost, it's like the you know, the wings on his, you know, the Achilles wings on his helmet are no longer, or Icarus, I'm sorry, wings on his helmet are no longer there. It's now, you know, it's decayed into this thing. So it's I'm getting this impression of, strongly of something turning, something transmuting, you know, perhaps a partnership where one felt stuck, maybe one person healed and the partnership remained, but something had to change, had to transmute, right? Death isn't necessarily physical death, it's about transmutation. Because then we go into the present and we have this Four of Wands, and this is Mars and Aries energy, and that's beautiful. It's beautiful energy. That's, you know, it's passionate, and it's celebratory. It's you know, the marriage card is, as many would say, these Four Wands, you know. And we have the Empress. So perhaps there was a kind of rekindling. Maybe each forgot. And these have not been love readings, so, you know, I plan on kind of doing those next, for the next set. Or, you know, it's whatever comes out, but I'm feeling this energy of maybe a stagnancy in a solid couple that maybe refound some love. There's a couple different messages I'm getting. It could be that there was an affair that kind of ended a relationship or brought back life into it, transmuted that relationship into a remembrance of celebration. Because then we have the Empress, the Lovers. I mean, this center row here, where you're at right now, is pretty epic. You know, the Four of Wands, we have the Empress, we have the Lovers, we have the King of Wands, we have the Hierophant, we have the Six of Cups, and we have the Emperor. So now we have two pairs and a soulmate pair and a divine pairing here on the board. What's interesting is that the King of Wands is in the center of the entire spread, right? And the Hierophant being the card of marriage, but also contracts, commitments, spiritual knowledge. It's, you know, it's a card of Taurus. The Lovers being card of Gemini. The Twins, it's also a card of choices having to be made, right? Empress is fertility, so maybe this new love, and again, two different storylines kind of going on, whether it could be that an old love died away and a Knight of Cups came into the picture and everything changed, or the Knight of Cups is a metaphorical expression of rekindling this offer of love. Death comes in, transmutes the relationship. Celebrations happen, possibly a pregnancy, because the Empress, you know, she's fertile, she's divine feminine, she's creative, she's abundant, she's, you know, all things, Taurus and Libra energy, like, you know, all things kind of with earthly abundance, right? But always pregnant with ideas, with creativity, and very often with children, especially in this lineup here, because we have, again, like I said, the Lovers afterwards, which is a divinely blessed union, also a choice to be made. We have the King of Wands, who is definitely the most lusty king, you know. He's sure of himself. He is you know, basks in the sun, staff in his hand, red robes. You know, I think that someone rediscovered their passions. Or perhaps it's, you know, it could be that this was a couple that was together for so long and had never been married before. But this is very much couple energy, because we have this Hierophant, we have this Remembrance card, this Six of Cups, which is so beautiful. It's the card of innocence and purity and remembering the simple things when life was just, you know, giving a cup of white lilies just meant that, giving the cup of white lilies in purity, in innocence of heart. You know, it's childlike, it's nostalgic. And then we have this Emperor, right? So we have the Emperor and the Empress here. But between them, much has happened. Choices have been made. Memories, contracts, you know, newfound lust, passion. We go into the future energy, and we have this Knight of Pentacles, this Seven of Cups, the Six of Wands, the Five of Cups, Temperance, the Six of Swords, Eight of Wands, we have two knights. Offer of emotion, offer of stability. Kind of like two kings. Offer of passion, offer of tangible, again, stability, security, financial abundance. And the Seven of Cups sneaks up here saying, choose wisely. We say we had, I said the Lovers was about a choice. So maybe it is about two people. This could be about one couple and their growth. This could be about one person's story. Or it could be about two people and two different storylines. Because choices have to be made again. And it's all the glitters is not gold card, it's to choose the cup wisely. The Six of Wands following that says someone makes the right choice for them, because this, he rides in wearing this, wearing the laurel wreath on his head and on his wand. But it's followed by the Five of Cups, meaning something has been lost. It's a card of mourning. You can't see the abundance anymore. You can't see the green grass. You can't see the rivers flowing, the bridge to the castle that still stands. He's just crying over what's been spilled, and he's not noticing the two cups that are behind him, right? So in comes two more cups to remind this person, almost like a message. We have the two cups in Temperance, right? Her heart chakra is fully open. It's a card of Sagittarius, fire sign, Third eye is fully open, fully illuminated here. The sun always shines, just like even in death. The sun always rises. The sun always rises, no matter what. The flowers are in full bloom, 1 foot on land, 1 foot in water. It's finding this balance, remembering these two cups, the memory here. Remembering the balance and the healing that you've done in the past. And we go from that into the Six of Swords, which is, deciding to sail away from the rocky waters and the waves to calmer waters. But very much so, I feel like this is concerning a family, because sometimes I see this as solo energy, and this feels very much like now, a child has been involved, and this is moving the entire family from whatever situations in the past have brought pain, after finding temperance again, after remembering. But again, I always find, sometimes I'm drawn to this, or Spirit guides me to the fact that there are 4 swords kind of clumped together and 2 swords separate on their own, which goes back again to the beginning of this 8 of Swords, right? Where I said we're always trying to get to the 10, and it's like these 2 swords still remain. There's still something blocked off in a heart chakra, in your mind, though. It's the mind over heart, And then we have these 8 of Wands, which is fast-moving action, fast-moving communication, something coming in. And it's almost like a cliffhanger in the future, right? Because at the bottom of the deck we have the 7 of Pentacles, and that's the planting of the seeds and the waiting for the harvest, and you already have the 8 of Pentacles here. So it's almost like Groundhog's Day, right? Like you're going back. It's a loophole where you're kind of in the matrix and you're just kind of going right back to where you started. Except for now, you're starting with the planting of the seeds rather than covering up the prison in your mind with the work. So I guess the message is to be conscientious. What I'm getting very strongly is to be conscientious about the seeds that you plant now and how they will affect your future. You know, you are the high priestess. For me as a reader, it's both Piscean and Cancerian energy. You're also the hanged man. The hanged man becomes enlightened by choosing to see things from new perspectives. Sometimes that's what we have to do, right? I think this is actually the only spread that no cards have turned up in reverse as well. Maybe that's why your hangman is here, to remind us to see things from new perspectives and other perspectives. And to not get trapped in our minds. Because you're a water sign. But you're also, you know, illusory energy is, you're ruled by Neptune. That's the planet of illusions, and it's so watery and so fluid, and Pisces are so, you know, so intuitive and so fluid and so, you know, so perceptive and so, you know, full of emotion. I'd say they are definitely the most watery of the water signs. So let's see. Obviously, I'm sorry. I was so caught up in that moment that if we look down this way, we have the first column of self and what really matters to you, right? And so what matters to you, I think, at the end is stability. I think that Pisces can also be daydreamers, you know, where depending on where you have Pisces in your chart. And daydreams can often turn into nightmares, you know, if you're not careful. If you get too caught up in your head and you know, overthinking can lead to kind of that analysis paralysis. But you also like to enjoy the pleasures of celebration along with the stability that you know will be there. In your home surroundings, very interesting. You know, it's hard work has gone in, and it's been a home, you know, of abundance and fertility. But there's been something illusory about it, you know, where you can't quite grasp what it is, and you're not always sure of which cup to pick, right? And that's incredibly Neptunian energy. It's a Venus and Scorpio energy, but it's always questioning, am I choosing the right thing, you know? And again, that has to come with you trusting your intuition. And if you really want security and you work on building that, you have that. So don't question your own intuition, and don't question the use of your own discernment. Don't let that trap you in your head. When it comes to your hopes and your fears, I mean, you have healing, you have the Lovers, and you have victory. Are you afraid of being successful? Are you afraid of what happens when you heal? Because this is in the past energy. Are you afraid of making that wrong choice? Cards say you're not making the wrong choice. You're finding your passions again. And you're victorious in that. But there's something in you that wants that and is also afraid of that at the same time. We've all been hurt in the past. I mean, if you haven't, then amazing. Please tell me your secrets. But for real, write them in the comments. I would love to know. But I'm sure everyone has felt heartbreak at some point in their lives. And no one wants to go through that. It's a horrible feeling. So being distrustful of a victory in love is certainly understandable, especially with all of this kind of this serious energy happening in Pisces right now. you know, we go into your known factors and we have the King of Pentacles, the King of Wands, and this Five of Cups. And this is where things get a little tricky. Kind of goes back to this cup of which cup do I choose, this Venus and Scorpio illusory energy, right? Stability, passion. If I choose neither, I lose everything, right? But maybe I can have both. These two cups are still standing. You don't have to just be one thing. You don't have to. We evolve all the time. All the time. We're constantly evolving. We're constantly growing and changing and healing. Who we are, I'm sure who we are today, or whenever you're seeing this, is not who we were 2 years ago, 1 year ago, 5 months ago, 10 years ago. We're constantly changing. And that's okay. And we can mourn the losses of who we've been. But just make sure we don't get caught in that grief. And allow ourselves to evolve, right? And then the hidden factors, this Queen of Pentacles, this Hierophant, and this Temperance. Again, what you really crave is this stability, this tradition. Maybe you're someone that comes off as someone that's not traditional, that you know, you feel like people don't understand you, or you come off as the person, you've always been known as the person that's been a little eccentric, or, you know, out there, or, you know, and that's, you know, Pisces, you know, can be that way, but inside, you have an inner knowledge, a higher understanding of yourself that maybe you don't even recognize this need for security, this understanding of tradition, and this ability to temper. And that's why you're able to kind of evolve and change and take on, you know, from one king to the next, from Empress and, you know, from King of Pentacles and Queen of Pentacles to Empress and Emperor. You know, it's the evolution of time, of who we are, and tempering that so that, you know, you're not all passion or not all concerned with just your finances. Tempering this energy and tempering this energy. It's a balance of both. But if you notice who you are and what matters to you, and in your hidden factors, it's still this something that's stable and secure. And then your short-term future, Knight of Cups, Six of Cups, Six of Swords. So it's a remembrance of this what it means to offer a cup, right, as an adult. And sometimes we have to leave situations that are no longer serving us, especially those that are in our minds, right? And so that we can move on to a better place. And then we have, in long term, the death and the transmutation, the death and the rebirth and the transmutation process, the Emperor, and the Eight of Wands. So that tells me that the process, the longer term scale of your trajectory is being able to transmute, to adapt. I mean, you know, you're a mutable sign, to adapt to changes, to take control when you need to, because you've had this healing, you understand temperance, you understand tradition, you understand stability, you also understand passion, you understand creativity. And I think things are going to happen very quickly for you. But you can't stay stuck here in the past. You have to continue to plant those seeds, even if things change. Always remember to see things from a different perspective and keep planting the seeds. So now I'll move on to Kim Krantz's Spirit of the Wild Unknown Oracle deck, just to get 3 final cards to kind of clarify that's fitting for a water sign. Sea serpent. So sea serpent in your past, right? And, you know, it's the Aurora Boreas, and it's kind of, you know, all of this water in the star card, right? You almost see that same circular here. And it's the all-seeing eye, the same way the High Priestess is intuition incarnate. And the star is kind of our spirit incarnate, or if you can call it incarnate. But yeah, you know, it's kind of our soul, our intuition, our soul. You know, it's the energy of the ether, and also the fact that, you know, the Aurora Boreas eats its tail. You know, it continues on kind of ad infinitum, as we were talking about the number of 8 in the beginning. That's just funny that Scorpion came out, as we said, because, you know, Scorpio rules the 8th house. So anyway, but we were talking about 8 as in infinity, and the sea serpent is kind of like that infinity as well. It's also, you know, snakes shed their own skin, which Pisces, and you know, you understand. You adapt, you flow, you are flowy. And I think it's interesting that we have the Scorpion, you know, kind of defining the present, because, you know, at the center of every reading we have this King of Wands, right? And this isn't a Scorpion, it's a lizard, but it's still fire energy, you know, and you know, this is very, very much, you know, sacral chakra and solar plexus chakra, very, very fiery. So, you know, you start off with this Mars in Aries energy, and you have this King of Wands energy, and you have this Emperor energy, this Aries energy. Again, a lot of fire energy. The Scorpio also, you know, it's not a Scorpio, but a Scorpion. Also, you know, they don't sting just anybody, but when they do sting, it really burns, which is, I think, again, why I was kind of saying about we've all been burned in the past, and we've all been stung, right? And you don't forget that feeling, but we can't be afraid. We can't assume that every person will sting us, because they won't. The lizard. And now this is integrating. So we have this blue and the green, which is very much, you know, it's ether because of the symbol, but it's also the throat chakra, right? And it's blue is also very watery energy. And then you have this solar plexus and sacral chakra, right? And then you have the lizard, which root chakra, very root chakra. And we just talked about the lizard and the King of Wands in the center here. But it's also, you know, the lizard stares into the sun, unblinking. So the King of Wands can bask in it, but not have to stare into it, right? So he can still do his job as king. The lizard is also a shapeshifter. It's also notice that everything you have has scales in a sense. has an exterior. I mean, certainly feels right for Scorpio for me, and the lizard can blend in. But it also represents that what we talked about is that what it comes down to is a need for security, which is something you might not always want to admit to yourself. But it's okay to admit that. We all want security. We all want security. And at the bottom of the deck, dolphin. The dolphin spirit. Which is to remember to always have fun, right? To have those memories of kind of childlike innocence. And dolphins are incredibly perceptive. They're incredibly, I mean, all of the colors swim around them. They're incredibly human-like, and they're just, you know, they're incredibly nurturing and playful and just beautiful, beautiful creatures. And they have a deeper understanding of things, much like the High Priestess, right? But they also know how to have fun and how to play with each other. They genuinely interact. And I think that's what I see, you know, in this spread, what you're doing. It's just not making sure to not have fear. You know, you start and end with 2 8s here. And one is quick moving action and one is mental prison. So it's your choice where you want your future to go. Having gotten yourself out of this place. Now, if you'd like to take a moment and think of a question, I'm going to pull a Numerology Oracle card. Let's see if it answers. Just a simple question, just kind of for fun. And I'll end with a gemstone, you know, a crystal or two. So you might want to also get a notebook out, or a piece of paper, because these do ask questions and they have an affirmation that it's kind of nice to write down. This couldn't arrive at a better time. Prosperity lies ahead. New moon in Taurus, which is about to come up. So, this fast-moving action in this kind of future might be faster than we think. In the bottom of the deck we have Show the World the Real You, full moon in Aquarius. And again, Aquarius is the star, you know, major, the stars, major arcana for Aquarius. And so, you know, it's the water bearer, right? Even though it's an air sign. The real you is whoever you want you to be. Just make sure it's authentic. That's it. There's no need to put on pretenses. This has been a theme actually for a lot of readings that I've been getting, and I think it's really interesting. I feel like a lot of people are trying to keep up appearances in times when it's not necessary to do that. You know? Put there. Because we're all going through it. So whatever healing you've done, use it to heal others. Whatever temperance you find, use it to help others find temperance. Whatever success and victories you have, share with others. Be happy for others' success. But make sure that you find your own happiness first, always. Never pour from an empty cup, right? I think that's something Pisces knows well. A Pisces won't let their well run dry. They know they can't. Tiger's Eye. Overcome your fears. Spirit says one more. We'll do one more and then I'll read what the meanings are. these are just helpful crystals to maybe carry around right now. I mean, as we're still in Aries energy, it's a great stone to have. It's also just a great stone in general to have, especially, you know, when going into anything where you feel like you might need some extra strength. Thank you. And black tourmaline, protect your energy. Now, another stone that I say is like, it's like one of those stones that I always carry with me. I always have a little piece of black tourmaline with me. So, you know, here, right here. And I have tigers right here. So, those are two great stones of both protection and then, you know, capturing that fiery solar plexus energy, you know. Perfect for the season, I would say. So tiger's eye first, and again, this is where you might want to write down. If you don't journal, this is a good way to start. This is Heather Akinosi's Daily Crystal Inspiration deck, just so you know. Tiger's eye, overcome your fears. Sooner or later, we are all called upon to take action and face our fears. Be empowered, courageous, and bold. Even the bravest among us fear. It matters only that you face that fear and overcome it. Don't let the natural instinct to avoid discomfort prevent you from realizing some of your greatest experiences. Storm the proverbial castle, push open the gates, embrace your inner tiger, and stare down that fear until it is conquered. Shift your perspective and welcome fear. Shift your perspective, as we said, Hangman, right, is all about shifting perspective. And welcome fear as an opportunity to step up, meet the challenge, and demonstrate your resilience. So the questions are, what are you afraid of? Does fear affect your day-to-day choices? And how would your life look if you overcame fear? So, what are you afraid of? Does fear affect your day-to-day choices? How would your life look if you overcame fear? And the affirmation is, I face fear head on. Today, begin one thing you've been afraid to do. I face fear head on. Now, black tourmaline. Protect your energy. Only good vibes may enter. Learning how to fully realize and protect your personal energy is a powerful tool to stay strong. Remain true to yourself and resist being swayed or brought down by negativity, whether it's directed at you or simply present around you. Before going out in public, make a conscious effort to harness the inner strength and commit to staying positive regardless of who or what may seek to dampen or drain your spirit. Utilize this shield of protection and you will recognize the difference. The questions are, have you been letting others' negativity affect you? Are there people in your life who leave you feeling drained when you spend time with them? How can you protect your vitality? So, again, have you been letting others' negativity affect you? Are there people in your life who leave you feeling drained when you spend time with them? And how can you protect your vitality? The affirmation, I am strong, powerful, and protected. Today, before you leave the house, envision a strong, energetic shield surrounding you. Reconnect with this energy barrier throughout the day to reinforce your protection. I am strong, powerful, and protected. Beautiful. Okay, Pisces. Well, thank you so much for taking this time with me. If you've lasted till the end of this, I know these are a bit long. I promise they will get shorter as I do more of a free flow spread going forward in the future. So again, if this resonated at all with you, or even if you liked it, or if you just want to send positive